Linus, first off, welcome to the wind tunnel, but more importantly, congratulations on the win. Those records of finishes and starts and wins that I rattled off before you joined me, uh, pretty impressive for 2022. What was the secret?
Thank you. Firstly, thanks for having me, and yeah, thank you. It's been one hell of a year for us. Enjoyed it from start to finish, and if I had a secret to this, I would sell it very for a lot of money. I'll tell you that much. But I think it's honestly, it might sound a little bit of a cliche, but honestly, we just worked really hard. We had a good year last year where we finished third, with a couple of wins and a couple of poles, and we realized that on our day we can be really fast, and we just wanted to make sure that we had more of those days and that our bad days aren't as bad as they were last year. And I think that's been one of the keys for us to win this championship. That our lows, that was a P6, a P5, or maybe even on the podium. And eventually, that's how you win a championship, I think.
So, what's next for you? Because we're in a shall I say a vortex where there's a lot of seats that are already filled at the next level, and you are able to at least shop with the bonus and the what they call the scholarship for you to further your career and move up the IndyCar ladder. How's that search going?
It's going all right. Like you said, there's a lot of seats closed, and there's not an abundance of them out there. But I still believe that there is a shot for us to be on the IndyCar grid next year. I mean, that's definitely the target without a doubt. And I want to believe that the most important thing is what you do on track. And I do think that we've showed this year that we deserve to at least be given a shot next year. And we'll see what happens. But I have a good group of guys that's helping me with that one, and I think we can get this done. And as you mentioned as well, the scholarship that the series has obviously will help whatever it will be.
There's no question you crushed it this season. So if you have to, and I'm going to prefer to say that the glass is half full and we will see you on the IndyCar circuit in 2023. But if you have to, are you okay with staying another year in Indy Lights?
No, I will not be staying another year in Indy Lights. That's not happening. I mean, it was tough for me as it was to even find a budget for this year, and it will. I won't be able to make that kind of work again. So I won't be doing lights again. If I'm not in IndyCar, then we'll see what happens. I'm not closing any doors, but obviously the most realistic and what's closest for me right now is IndyCar.
A little earlier in this show when we celebrated Will Power's championship at the premier level, he shared with us the story that he found himself at a point in his career exactly where you are. And that was that he wasn't sure what lied ahead. And it was his wife, Liz, that said to him, don't sign because you may get a call from someone like Ganassi or someone like Penske. And then we all know the story. He got out of the contract for the A1 series that eventually went bankrupt, and he did get a call. So
Yeah.
TK and I've talked about this on our show Brick by Brick. Drivers' careers and futures, while you have to take care of your racecraft and your people have to go out there and work hard to find, identify, and grab the next step, are often predicated and dictated by the craziest of circumstances. How can you pursue a career knowing that it could be just blind luck that lands you to the next step?
Yeah, I've been asking that myself a lot for the last couple of years. Why am I doing this again? But and people ask me as well. Some of the young drivers that come up to me, just like, so how did you do it? But there's not one way of doing this. Every road is so different. So I wouldn't say there's a recipe that you can follow, and ultimately you will end up in this position. And the same goes for you look at someone like Will Power, like you said, it was just one of those phone calls, and you got to be ready when it comes. But I also think that you can increase your chance of a phone call like that happening by doing certain things. And I think that's what I'm focused on doing right now. The number one thing is obviously perform on track, But then secondly is obviously networking and trying to see what's out there. And I want to believe that we've done a pretty good job of that this year, of just, laying the landscape, seeing what's happening. Obviously the news today with Pillow and Rosenqvist staying, that will sort of have a little bit of a domino effect for me. So it will be interesting to see what happens for me. But I also want to believe that the glass is half full.
Takes an awful lot of patience to be at the point in your career and have to wait on others. So, from a racer standpoint, you just want to get behind the wheel. You certainly have proven by your performance that you deserve to move up to the very next level. If IndyCar is out of the picture in the immediate future, what are some of the other vistas on the horizon that you could go after?
Anything that got four wheels and a steering wheel. Honestly, I don't know. I haven't looked too much into it. But obviously, in an ideal scenario, I would still stay in single seaters, and there's not a lot of series out there. And obviously, I probably have said as well, but there's been some articles that the Super Formula might be a step to go. And if that door were to open, I wouldn't be the one to close it. If IndyCar wasn't on plans, but I want to stay here in the US. I think for the last 3 years we've done some good things here in the US, and it would be a shame to have to leave it to go somewhere else. But we'll see what happens. I know that I'll be happy driving anything, as long as I got a chance to be winning.
All right, I know there's a lot of balls in the air, and you're an expert juggler, but still, on a 1 to 10, with 10 being a sure bet, where do you rate the chances of you being an IndyCar next season?
I'd say about a 7.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah, I want to say around a 7. Yeah.
Listen, any plans to celebrate your championship? Because it really was a dominating performance, and you can strut your stuff now. I know you got a lot on the on your desk trying to figure out where you're going next year, but we all have to take time once in a while to kick back and enjoy the fruits of our labor. So what's on your docket to celebrate this Indy Lights championship?
Yeah, I've been celebrating a little bit. It's been now a couple of days since since we won it. So yeah, we've taken some time to celebrate it, which was nice. Actually, Sunday night was cool. Met a bunch of IndyCar guys as well, so that was nice to see them kick back as well. Because obviously you see them on track, and obviously that's one relationship, but it's another thing when you meet them outside of the track, which was nice. And I was fortunate enough that my family flew out, so they were there for the last race, and we're actually right now in Los Angeles, and we're taking a couple of days to look at this place and just relax before we're flying back to Indianapolis and the banquet.
Listen, it's been a real treat to visit with you and to be part of the celebration on what you accomplished this season. There's no question in my mind that the next step will identify itself, and it'll reward you for all the hard work you put in your craft. Thanks so much for joining me here inside the wind tunnel.
Thank you, man.